Hello YouTube family. This is a garden tour specifically for you guys. I normally make short 20-second videos for YouTube Shorts and Facebook Reels, but this time I'm going to do a full video, no edits. And so if I forget the name of plants, um, just I'll try to correct it in the comments, or you guys could correct it for me. I'm gonna wing it. I'm gonna try to keep it down to 8 to 10 minutes, and I'm just gonna show you my front yard garden only. I'm not doing anything in the backyard. This is what is in front of my front porch. This landing is separate from my sidewalk when you come down my steps. These are the trailing Purple Hearts. I got them from Tractor Supply when they had the 75% off, and they were $5 each. I have 2 of them. I have never had these plants, and this, what you're about to see, is a 2-year garden install. I work a part-time job from 9 to 6 for 18 years. I've been at my home for a little over 10 years. I have not, gardening was not my hobby. It was always my mom's hobby. My mom would always say, do something to that front yard. It's the first thing people see. So I got into it. I actually lost my job February 2020, and I haven't worked since. I've steadily been doing some, getting some certificates, up in my resume, and I hope to be getting back in the job, hopefully to begin the job soon. But gardening right now is my hobby, my love, my peace, my joy. And I'm also trying to get my YouTube and Facebook monetized, so that my hobby and my lifestyle, I could get paid for it. And I'm sure a lot of you guys can understand that. Again, back to the plants. That was just a little backstory about this 2-year garden install. These 2 trailing Purple Hearts came from Tractor Supply. They was $5 each. These coleus, they were during the 75% off Tractor Supply. Who doesn't know that Tractor Supply now have a garden center? Ours in our local area, first time having a garden center this spring, and I was excited because their plants are definitely less expensive than Lowe's and Lowe's and Home Depot. We don't have a Home Depot in our town, but we definitely have a Lowe's, and we have about 3 or 4 garden centers, and garden nurseries. But I love Lowe's, and when I seen Tractor Supply, a big box store that had a garden center, I was so thankful for the deals that they had. Okay, we're already over 3 minutes. Let me get to this garden tour. Purple trailing hearts from Tractor Supply, $5 each. They probably have put on some growth, but they were actually this size when I bought them. The coleus has definitely put on some growth. I'm gonna come on down the steps and look at this coleus. I'm thinking this limb branched off. The coleus had 2 in 1 quart bucket. I split those coleus to make more plants. And this coleus, I'm not sure of the name, it loves shade to part sun, and I have a full sun yard, so I definitely have these under the porch in this area, because this is where I get the most shade for the morning and pretty much all day. It may get a little bit of sun anywhere from 1 to 3, and that's about it. So that's why I have these Purple Hearts and these coleus here. Excuse, I am going with a pebble mulch. As you see, I had red mulch here 2 years ago. I bought about 80 bags, y'all, and I had mulch in this area. In all the areas where you see pebble now, I had mulch. I put up all this mulch probably last fall and left the weed cloth down until I could afford some pebbles this year, and that's what I got the pebbles from. As you can see, you may see some of this pottery. This is Mexican. This is my little Mexican pottery animals. I have about 12 in my collection for this design here. I got them from Hobby Lobby. Correction. I got them from Ross, TJ Maxx, and Home Goods. When I come on out to from my sidewalk to the driveway, I have two of these little green arborvitaes. And if that's not the name, I'm sorry. And I also have this other pebble flower bed that I'm not planning on putting anything in the ground because I have that red clay. So you're going to see a lot of things in pots, especially my elephant ears and canna lilies. These are begonias. I got these, I'm thinking from a garden nursery, and they was only $7. I have trimmed them down because when the Japanese beetles came in, they ate a lot of the leaves. So I have trimmed these two plants all the way down to no leaves at all, put it in the shade, watered it as much as it needed, and near the water hole so I wouldn't forget. And this is the new fresh growth that you're seeing. You're going to see that a lot. A lot of my plants have a lot of fresh growth because I have probably pruned sweet potatoes, coleus, and a lot of my plants, even my little mini roses. I have pruned them all the way down to flush out growth. I probably did that about 4 times since the spring. These are some coleus that didn't survive the transplant to a bigger pot. And so I cut it all the way down to no leaves, and look at that fresh growth that is coming out. And this is a hostas that never survives, always bakes its leaves in the sun. I get a little insect damage, and it's flushing out pretty. I have it in the shade as well. And this is a sweet potato vine. I'm not sure the variety, but I have also trimmed it all the way back, and now it's flushing out new growth. I just trimmed all my sweet potato vines about a week ago to flush out new growth. Look at this right here. You guys are just gonna be amazed. I bought this at Lowe's Indoor Garden Center for $30. It was all 4 plants in one, and I split them up and I put it in these pots that I had. Look at this, so cute. I had some moss growing around my yard, and I have been getting a spatula and carefully digging it up and putting it in all of these pots. So hopefully I could cover the entire area before frost comes with the moss. I'm gonna bring these inside, or at least on top of my porch, but they were all 4 plants in one pot, and I split them. I have a video for this. I also maybe have a YouTube short, and I split all of them. And I have these outside. They are dracaenas, corn plants, some people call them. And look at how cute that is. And I also have these 2 garden trellises just as a decorative accent on my house. And then I have this little mirror. Look at that cute little mirror. I have this mirror. I got it from an indoor fireplace. It was an electric indoor fireplace, and this was the surround on the outside where the fireplace stopped working. And I try not to throw away anything. I always think I can find a use for it. And look at the use I found for this. That is just so cute to have such a mirror accent. And look at that. You see the image of the dracaena plant in that mirror? So pretty. Okay, let me keep going. These are my 2 mini roses. I know we're already at 9 minutes, but I think you guys are going to enjoy this. I may try to trim it a little bit in iMovie, probably not, because this is my first no edit full garden tour without combining a whole bunch of shorts to it, and I'll be all over the place. These are mini roses. Look at how cute that is. I got these from Lidl, which is the brother company of Aldi. If you have an Aldi and a Lidl in your area, Lidl and Aldi sell plants. They mainly sell house plants, and they always have bouquets of flowers and roses. But I bought 4 of these, and they was $2.99 each. I just deadheaded these roses, And I'm going to keep the pebbles and maybe put them in a little bag and dry them out and see if it has a great potpourri smell. And that is another bloom that is coming in. I've lost two. And these are the two that I have left. And look at the growth. I also pruned this all the way down to no leaves. Brought it in the shade area because, you know, roses do want a little bit of sun. And I think these only like the morning sun. But where I have them now is just full shade. They are on these bar stools close to the porch. And the roof gives it the shades. Again, I'm in a full sun yard. But anyway, that's that. Only roses I have. I've tried rose bushes before and with no luck. So they was either attacked by aphids or the yellowing of the leaves, or so I really don't do roses in my yards. I'm really not a rose person, and when I saw these, I just had to have them so I could at least try it and let it be a great experiment. And plus it was something for my Mexican pottery to have a little, finally put something in that. This what here you see, you may think, oh my God, such a mess, I would never have that in my front yard. As you can see, this is where my watering hose is. I do have a container for my water hose. I rarely reel it in. How many of you guys can raise your hand on that? But until I have a rain barrel, I'm going to fake it till I make it. I don't have gutters. So I get a lot of rainwater from my roof. Those of you who don't have gutters will understand. These are buckets that I bought for another purpose, but I love catching rainwater. So I have 5 of these buckets in different areas that I do catch rainwater from my roof, and I try to get rid of my rainwater within 2 days. If I can't get rid of my rainwater within 2 days, I put it in these milk jugs, also water jugs, and also laundry detergent, making sure I rinse all the water out. This right here, what you see in it is rainwater. We got a lot of rain about 2 or 3 days ago, and the system is working for me because we all know that rainwater just the plants just love it. And when I have my elephant ears or my canna lilies, the foliage or my sweet potato vines, it's sometimes, no matter how hard it rains, the rain can't pour down to the dirt because it has so much foliage. So I normally preserve my water here. And these buckets are also for the purpose of fertilizing. I would normally get the Miracle Grow or the Holly Tone, and I would put just 1 scoop in each jug, and I could go around and fertilize my plants. This is my Crimson Queen Japanese Maple. It'll give you, let me give you the full effect of how huge it is. I can also go under it because let you know this is a full grown tree, and look at how pretty that structure is underneath. I bought this tree full grown. It was a local nursery in my area that had a landscape job that went bad, and what they did was had about 8 Japanese maple trees. Well, they put them on 75% off, and I just so happened to be there that day, and something told me you better at least get 1. I wish I had have got 2 or 3, but this tree went for like $800 or $950 or something. I paid $150 for this full-grown Japanese maple tree, and that was over 7 years ago. I dug the hole for it myself. The company told me, where I got the nurses, said they would come out, bring the tree, dig the hole, and make sure it's properly set in for $250. I said, I'll dig that hole myself, and I would get my uncle trailer, and I would be back to get my tree. How long can you hold it? I think they may have held it for me for a few days, trying to give me that pressure of them coming out. But I had this hole dug. Again, this is red clay, but I backfilled it with 2 large bags of soil, and this tree has been striving ever since. I mean, just huge. It's time to prune it, and I do my own pruning. This is my green giant arborvitae. I only have 1. I love this tree. I love where I put it. I had it in a pot for about 6 months. before I decided to where I would put it, and I put it right beside my Japanese maple. And that is that. It's close to the house, as you can see, not that close, and you can see how tall it's getting, almost near the roof. I am gonna let this tree just have its way. I want you to see the gap that it has for the house. Hopefully the branches won't branch out so much toward the house where I can still have a walking path, but if they do, I just try to keep that trim as I go. But right now they look like they're growing upward. I have this little white trellis here, not sure where I got it from. This is my Japanese maple. It was a Sierra U. The sun got to it real bad. I'm not sure if it survived. It was, the branch and the trunk was green. I bought this last year, never did find a place for it. Let's see if I have the name on it. There it is. As you can see, it is a Sierra U. Hopefully it flushes back out, but this sun to triple degree weather was brutal, and I hope that really comes back. I've spent like maybe $99 for this tree. I have yet to put it in the ground. Didn't know where I want it to be. I didn't want it to be close to the house because it's an upright structure, Japanese maple variety, and I'm hoping it survived. I'm just at a loss. I'm just so overwhelmed about it. I try not to even think about it, but I do water it. This is my darn red bud. I plan on, this tree could get 30 feet tall, but I'm gonna bonsai this tree. I'm not gonna allow it to get that tall. All I can do is just continue to cut the top off. Is with what I've done already, as you can see, and I will continue to do that in the center of the main branch and just see how it goes. I want it to branch out and have this view on where I let the green giant tree continue to grow, and I stunt the growth on this one to bonsai where the branches go out, and then you have the Japanese maple. Here are my sweet potato vines that I told you guys about, that I trimmed down to no leaves at all, and look how pretty it is about to flush out. Well guys, it looks like this is going to be part 1 of my September garden tour, because I'm already at 17 minutes, and I said I was going to do this with no edits, and I said I was going to do this with full garden tour, so to let you guys know, instead of seeing all my videos in shorts or reels, this is a full garden tour, and this is how, let you know the massive, no matter how small my garden, front yard garden is, and this is the only garden I have in the front, it's still a lot of work, and I'm just giving you guys an idea of that. Okay, stay tuned for part 2. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe.